Incoming president to inherit 77 trillion debt. Court of Appeal reinstated Dauda Lawal as Zamfara PDP gubernatorial candidate. INEC set up committees for National Situation Room. On business, Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit blocks cash withdrawals from government accounts. On the international scene, Russian president orders ceasefire in Ukraine. And on sports, NFF president warns referees and match commissioners against corrupt practice. Hello and welcome to Standard Press Television News. I'm Sumaya Dosura in now the news in full. Director General, Debt Management Office, Patient Oniha, said the incoming administration would inherit about 77 trillion naira as debt by the time President Muhammadu Buhari's tenure ends in May. The director disclosed this while answering questions from newsmen at the public presentation and breakdown of the highlights of the 2023 Appropriate Act in Abuja. It could be recalled that on Tuesday, President Buhari signed the 21.83 trillion naira 2023 budget into law, with a deficit of 11.34 trillion naira. The deficit represents 5.03% of the country's gross domestic product. Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, said the federal government would finance the deficit by borrowing. The Court of Appeal, Sokoto Division, has affirmed Dauda Lawal as the PDP gubernatorial candidate for the 2023 general election in Zamfara State. With judgment, the candidate is now qualified to contest in the state. Consequently, the court set aside the judgment of the Federal High Court sitting in Gusau, which earlier disqualified Dauda Lawal. The Federal High Court in Gusau also said in its judgment that PDP had no candidate for the said position in the forthcoming election in the state. The Independent National Electoral Commission has established committees for National Situation Room and Collection Center for the 2023 general elections. The Commission disclosed this in a statement by its National Commissioner and Chairman, Information and Voter Education Committee, Mr. Festus Okoye in Abuja. Mr. Festus said INEC, at its weekly meeting, deliberated on several issues, including the venue for the National Situation Room and Collection Center for the 2023 general elections. He said the INEC chairman, Prof. Mahmoud Yakub, would head the Collaboration Secretarial Committee, National Chairman, while the National Commissioner, Mrs. May Abamuchi Umbo, would chair the Situation Room Committee. The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps has warned applicants in the ongoing equipment exercise to beware of scammers who are trying to take advantage of the exercise to extort them. A statement by the spokesman of the Corps, Olusola Odumusu, on Thursday in Abuja said the scammers have been circulating messages on social media directing applicants to attend a test on January 8th. The attention of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps has been drawn to an erroneously crafted message to applicants about the recently advertised NSCDC 2022 recruitment exercise circulating on social media. The NSCDC spokesman said the Corps cyber experts have been directed by the Commandant General of the Corps, Dr. Ahmed Abakar Audi, to go after the mastermind of the fake information. Dr. Ahmed therefore enjoined the public to remain calm and patient for the authentic updates and information on the recruitment process. The Southwest Anti-Smuggle Unit of the Nigerian Customs Service, otherwise referred to as Federal Operating Unit Zone A, disclosed that between January to December, it has seized 93,102 50 kg bags of foreign parboiled rice, totaling 156 trailer loads of rice, 108 automobiles comprising of trucks, tankers, cars and motorcycles, among other, and contraband with duty paid value put at 13,908,575,436 naira 5 kobo. For more on the story, Jamila Ibrahim reports.
The unit explained that illicit drugs seized within the same period include 2,354 kg and 4,976 tablets of cannabis sativa, 233 cartons, 225 milligrams, and 82 packs, 225 milligrams of tramadol. Briefing newsmen in Ikeja, the area controller in charge of the unit, Deputy Comptroller Hussein Kende Ejibunu, said the service lost 4 of its officers, namely Inspectors of Customs T.P. Astor and A. Onueguzi, and Assistant Inspectors of Customs Musa R. and Bristol, when they confronted smugglers last year. Also nabbed was 656,414 liters of premium motor spirit, about 20 tanker loads of fuel from what he described as economic saboteurs. The unit also arrested 176 smuggling suspects, secured 7 convictions, while 14 were charged to court and are at various stages of investigation and prosecution. Just as 7 suspects are in detention, 2 suspects were handed over to the NDLEA and 1 suspect was handed over to the Nigerian police respectively, while 151 are on administrative bail. Jamila Ibrahim Dosa, reporter for Standard Voice Television.
Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Defense, Dr. Ibrahim Kana, has in Abuja commended President Muhammadu Buhari for approving payment of Security Department allowance to eligible retirees of the armed forces. Security Department allowance is the money paid to retired military personnel to discourage them from using the skills they acquired while in service against the government. More than 90,000 military retirees who retired before 2017 were originally not among those to benefit from the allowance. The reason for this exclusion, according to the Minister of Defense, retired Major General Bashir Megashi, was that personnel who retired before the law was signed were not entitled to the allowance. The affected retired military personnel embarked on a series of protests in the last 2 years to demand the payment of their allowance. During the inauguration of the 2023 Armed Forces Remembrance Day Emblem and Appeal Fund, President Muhammadu Buhari said he had approved 134.7 billion naira for the payment of the allowance to all military veterans. The Zamfara State Police Command has rescued 15 kidnapped victims that comprise 7 women, 6 men and 2 children. Recall that on 1st January 2023, there was a report of abduction of some Komotras along Svtv Road, following which the command deployed additional police tactics operatives to the location for search and rescue operation, an effort that yielded positive results. In the course of the briefing, the victims informed the police that they were blocked and abducted by large numbers of bandit terrorists along Ankara Svtv Road by Maguza village while coming back from Abuja and Kaduna heading to Gusau, Sokoto and Birnin Kebbi respectively. The victims were medically checked at the police clinic facility, debriefed by the police detectives and thereafter reunited with their family. The Commissioner of Police CP Kolo Yusuf congratulates the rescued victims for regaining their freedom and assured police continuous commitment to sustain the ongoing search operation in order to rescue the remaining victims in captivity. The Kano State Police Command said 61 suspected political thugs had been arrested in its effort to rid the state of all forms of crimes and criminality, especially during political campaigns. For more on the story, Zainab Abdul Wasir reports.
The State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Mamman Dauda, made the disclosure in a statement issued to newsmen by the commandant spokesperson, SP Abdullahi Arunikiawa in Kano. SP Abdullahi said the arrest was made in line with the directives of the Inspector General of Police to ensure peaceful election process and tackle the menace of political thugs. He said the suspects were arrested on June 4th during political campaign clearance operations conducted during a political activities at Sani Abacha Stadium, Kano. He further disclosed that said items recovered from the suspects include 33 knives, 8 cutlasses, 4 scissors, a pestle and 117 wraps of suspected India M's. Other items include 3 bottles of sock and dye, 500 Exol tablets and bunch of charms. Zainab Abdul Wasir reporting for Standard Voice Television.
And on business, The Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit has banned cash withdrawal from all federal and state accounts effective March 1, 2023. NFIU Director General Modibo Tuku, who disclosed this to newsmen at a conference in Abuja on Thursday, said the agency will trigger investigation processes on any public office holder who engage in cash transactions after the end of February this year. Mr. Modibo said the NFIU will collaborate with the Economic and Financial Crime Commissions, the Independent Corrupt Practice Commission, and the Nigerian Police Force in investigating government officials that withdraw cash from public accounts. According to Modibo, the directive to go cashless will help to curb corruption in public offices, as the country's money laundering laws as well as other anti-graft laws will be fully applied on erring government officials. The NFIU boss also noted that the decision is in accord with Nigerians' full transition into a cashless economy started by the Central Bank of Nigeria. And on the international scene, Russian President Vladimir Putin has ordered a ceasefire in Ukraine over Orthodox Christmas. The Kremlin said Russian troops must hold fire for 36 hours starting on January 6th. Many Orthodox Christians, including those living in Russia and Ukraine, celebrate Christmas on January 6th to 7th. The head of the Russian Orthodox Church called for both sides of the war in Ukraine to observe a Christmas truce, a step dismissed by Kyiv as a cynical trap. And on sports, the Nigerian Football Federation President Ibrahim Gusau has issued a extreme warning to Nigerian referees and match commissioner against practice capable of bringing the game into disrepute. Mr. Gusau made this known during the inauguration of the referees and match commissioners committees inside the NFF Secretariat, Abuja. He said it will no longer be business as usual for match commissioners and referees in the domestic game, as those who fail to meet the high standards already put in place will be summarily ejected and sanctioned appropriately. Meanwhile, the NFF president, on behalf of the Interim Management Committee, presented a 200 million naira check to the 20 NPFL clubs as take-off grants for the upcoming 2022 to 2023 outreach season, which kicked off on Sunday. Still on business, Cristiano Ronaldo has just completed a move to Saudi Arabia club Al Nassr, but made a slip-up during his official presentation in Riyadh on Tuesday when mistakenly said he had come to South Africa. Perhaps the Portugal great was disoriented by the whirlwind nature of his arrival at his new club, which saw him fly out to Saudi on Monday night before undergoing a medical the next morning and then being greeted by thousands of cheering fans at Al Nassr Park Stadium. After what was clearly a slip of tongue, Ronaldo went on to outline his reasons for joining Al Nassr and said he had turned down many clubs around the world to complete one of the most surprising moves in soccer history. Ronaldo has signed a 2.5-year contract to play in Saudi Pro League and will reportedly earn up to $200 million in a year. And that's all on the news. To end the news, a quick look at the major headlines. Incoming president to inherit 77 trillion debt. Court of Appeal reinstated Dauda Lawan as the PDP gubernatorial candidate. INEC set up committees for National Situation Room. On business, Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit blocks cash withdrawals from government accounts. On the international scene, Russian president orders ceasefire in Ukraine. And on sports, NFF president warns referees and match commissioners against corrupt practice. Thank you for watching. I still remain Mary. Do have a pleasant day and keep watching Standard Voice Television.